How's it going? Bowman here again with another esports meditation, and today we're going to be talking about Pokkén Tournament and its introduction in the lineup for the Evo tournament this year coming up in June. Overall, I think it's a great addition. Pokemon is definitely a game that's been severely missed in the esports scene in a major way. And I think this is just going to bring more viewers, more attention to the scene, and it's a great way to bring more of your mainstream populace that doesn't particularly watch esports into the esports scene. To kind of give you an idea, last year they had a little invitational tournament because the game doesn't officially come out in the United States until next month, actually. But as you can see on the screen here, we got some clips of last year's, World Invitational, and, you can see everything's in Japanese. But overall, it's a solid fighting game. It's kind of unique, but the biggest thing is it draws the Pokemon crowd into the fighting scene world in a more hardcore way. And, last year, Evo, peaked at over 250,000 concurrent viewers for their tournament, which was exciting considering the year before, they peaked at 150,000. So they're growing and growing, and I think adding Pokkén Tournament to this is just going to be a huge plus for the scene. Even though the game technically hasn't been released in America yet until next month, with the tournament being in June, that's 3 months for, any players who want to compete, that they can to do this. And Pokemon is one of those, as most people know from the TV shows to all the video games, it has a huge following. I mean, back in 2014, it was still in the top 5 for competitive games for the player base, for the total player base. Like, it was, ranking up there near League of Legends and Counter-Strike. As far as total number of players. So it's a huge market that's going to be very exciting for Evo, very exciting for the esports scene in general, that's going to be brought into this in this way. Now, Pokkén Tournament itself is actually kind of a unique fighting game because it doesn't have the high-low fighting style that you see in like your traditional fighting games, but it focuses more on blocking and character abilities, hence it's Pokemon, like Charizard has flamethrower attacks, Machamp focuses on punches and body slams and stuff, but there's also an assist program where you actually choose secondary Pokemon to come and give you either an offensive or a supportive or a defensive assist, and there's timers along with all that. And on the screen right here, it's actually an early version of the game. And so there's limited champions. There's about double the number of champions that you see on the screen right now, and when the game actually releases next month. But overall, I think it's a great opportunity for Evo to kind of expand the market and just gain more viewers, because we already love Evo. We already love the scene. And with, as far as esports in general, fighting games, have a long pedigree, probably the oldest pedigree in competitive gaming. I mean, we all remember going to the arcade, and there'd be 8 or 10 of us sitting around, the Mortal Kombat game, waiting our turn to play, but also watching, and also the same thing, I'm sure many people were in their basements with the Super Nintendo or whatever game system they used to play your Mortal Kombat and Street Fighters, and Pokemon was just another one of those things where, I remember growing up even just playing the card game where we'd go over to friends and play that game, for hours into a night. So, Evo's definitely is placing a very good bet at adding Pokkén, because at the very minimum, even if the matches aren't as exciting, which I believe they will be, they're going to attract a large number of viewers. Now, things I would like to see leading up to this Evo, especially since they have Pokkén Tournament now in this, is I would love to see a little more advertisement, especially even on TV. I think if we could get a few well-placed ads on television for the tournament, whether it's in conjunction with the launch of Evo Pokkén Tournament or not, I think will help hit a lot of your mainstream crowds. We recently had CW's little air of the Mortal Kombat X tournament for the ESL. And overall, I think that production was fairly solid. There were a few things that I wasn't too fond of. They kind of spoiled some of the endings of the matches due to the editing of that show. It was pre-recorded, obviously, but at the same time, overall, I think it was a great job of getting taking that pedigree of the fighting scene and the esports fighting scene, and trying to attract those people who aren't watching esports currently into watching it. And Mortal Kombat obviously is a huge staple in North America. And I think, they could have easily chosen Street Fighter or Marvel vs. Capcom or Tekken and had just as much success. But I think Mortal Kombat was probably the smart choice in that case. And if we can do things like that, get TV channels involved or get advertisers or sponsors involved, to get more presence advertising, it's only going to bring more viewers. And I think with Pokemon joining the Evo lineup, it's just overall it's going to be a win no matter how the tournament actually ends up going. So kind of a short, quick video today. Nothing too detailed, but just very excited about that, and very excited that Pokkén Tournament is going to be a part of the Evo lineup. Feel free to like, share this favorite as you see fit, and we will see you very soon.